Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the Gooners and Gloves Podcast channel. In today's video, it's going to be the 30th Gooners and Gloves Podcast, and I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and reactions to the Navarrete-Valdez rematch that took place a couple of days ago on Saturday. This was of course a really entertaining, really gritty fight, and Navarrete put on a fantastic performance, won by knockout, remained the WBO super featherweight or junior lightweight, however you guys want to refer to it, world champion. And yeah, it was an excellent performance by Navarrete. Really genuinely, what a performance from him. Of course, huge amounts of heart showed by Valdez as well, so huge respect on that front as well. But Navarrete was just fantastic. He was sensational in this fight, performed so well. And I'm just going to kind of go through the fight, how each round went, and yeah, pretty much just what was, in my opinion, a quite entertaining fight. So yeah, it's the first boxing podcast in a while. It's been a little bit since I've done one, so it's exciting to be back onto the boxing podcasts. So yeah, pretty much let's jump straight into it. So this is a fight that of course caught fire straight away as Navarrete dropped Valdez in the very first round. So we always knew this was going to be a fight which started out quick. We know from the first fight, both of them like to fight on the inside. Both of them like to throw loads of punches, loads of combinations. We know that both Valdez and Navarrete are very high output fighters, and that's exactly what we saw. And right from round one, they were both going for it. Valdez tried to put on some early pressure, but Navarrete was just undeterred. Genuinely, Navarrete is just someone who's so hard to hurt. He's pretty much impossible to knock out, and we saw it on this evening. So as much as Valdez tried to put on the pressure, Navarrete came straight back, and Navarrete of course got the better of the exchanges early on throughout the fight, landing really good combination punches. And despite Valdez trying to get on the inside, we know Valdez loves to get on the inside, loves to throw the combinations, loves to go for the body, etc. He just was unable to do it to Navarrete. Navarrete was just so undeterred, so unfazed, and just pretty much fought fire with fire. Literally just fought fire with fire, but did it so effectively through the combinations, really threw Valdez off guard, and eventually he was able to knock him down in the very first round with an overhand and then also a hook. And that was a pretty recurring theme in this fight. So those overhands and hooks I refer to as looping punches, and for me, looping punches were definitely the star of the show when it came to Navarrete's offense. The hooks, the overhands that he threw were just so effective, and that's exactly how we knocked down Valdez in the very first round. Of course, Valdez was already kind of off balance anyway, because of course we know sometimes through putting on so much pressure, ducking a lot, keeping your head low, moving a lot, sometimes it can cause you to lose your balance, because that's just how the style is. Sometimes it's a very high energy style, so sometimes you can trip up. So he was already kind of off balance a bit anyway, but then Navarrete came through with a really nice overhand and a really good hook. And the hook was because it was an overhand, it got to travel quite a distance, so by the time it reached Valdez's tempo, it just had so much power behind it, and Valdez was dropped instantly in the first round. And yeah, it was just a great shot by Navarrete. Of course, Valdez beat the count and the fight continued, but it was a really bad start for Valdez, of course, getting dropped in the very first round. But Navarrete and he was so full of confidence. I mean, already before that, you could see he was full of confidence, but after that knockdown, he was just he was just so full of confidence in the upcoming rounds, and we saw it throughout the whole round. So of course, the fight went to the 6th round when Navarrete won by knockout, but throughout the remaining rounds, Navarrete at no point looked nervous, at no point did he look unconfident. He was confident throughout, and that knockdown definitely played a big part. Then of course, for the second round, it was really just much of the same. Valdez just really trying to get on the inside. Fair play to Valdez, he didn't just back up, he didn't cower away after being knocked down. He still went for it, he still tried to get him, but it's just Navarrete was just shutting everything down, genuinely. Aside from the looping punches, the 1-2 was so effective, and it frustrated Valdez so much. I thought the 1-2 from Navarrete was so good. He just kept throwing it, and Valdez just had no response, because of course, as we know, people who tried to get on the inside, they tend to kind of just travel in a straight line, and that's pretty much what Valdez was doing. So you didn't really see the angles from Valdez, you didn't really see the movement. It was pretty much just in a straight line, just trying to get on the inside, hit the body, hit the head. But Navarrete just saw straight through it, through the 1-2s constantly, and he was definitely knocking the head back of Valdez, and that's something else that really frustrated him. And of course, we know that a fighter like Navarrete, the best sort of fighter they could fight is an angry fighter, because Navarrete, he's a counter puncher, he likes to throw the combinations, but most importantly, he's a counter puncher, and there's no other fighter type that counter punchers like to fight more than angry fighters which are frustrated, which they're angry. And we did notice that Valdez was getting visibly angry and frustrated throughout the whole fight, and that's something that Navarrete took advantage of perfectly. Anytime he'd try and come in, he'd instantly snap the 1-2, followed by a quick hook, quick uppercut, and then you'd be able to get straight out of danger. So So that was really good from Navarrete, and that was pretty much the theme of the following rounds 2 and 3. That was the theme of them. At one point, I think it was in the third round, Navarrete hit a beautiful uppercut on Valdez and he knocked his mouthpiece out, and the confidence was just draining from Valdez. I think the confidence just wasn't there anymore, and it was really beginning to sap away. And while Valdez was losing his confidence, of course Navarrete was only gaining confidence, and so he just kept going from strength to strength. But yeah, the following 2 rounds, rounds 2 and 3, were really kind of just the same thing. Valdez just trying his best, trying to get on the inside, but just not managing to, and Navarrete landing the 1-2s, getting the hooks and the combinations going. The overhands, as I said, the overhand rights and lefts from him were fantastic. And as I said, of all the offense that Navarrete did, for me, the highlight of the show was definitely the overhands and lefts. Like, they were so precise, they landed so well, and they were constantly just hitting the temple of Valdez, and he was really struggling for balance. Heading into round 4, the round went in a similar way. Of course, it ended with Navarrete knocking down Valdez for a second time just before the bell went. And again, it was a similar sort of way. The overhands came through, and then once, essentially, it was like he hit him with an overhand, got him rocked, got him hurt, and then he just turned up the pace, hit the combinations, got the body shots working, got the 1-2s, and eventually was able to drop him. I think it was with the hook. Officially, he dropped him with the hook in just before the end of round 4. And by this point, it was pretty clear the fight was over. Like, there was nothing really more. Of course, there were 1.5 more rounds, but I think that's really when it became clear that Navarrete is not losing this. There's no way Valdez isn't coming back from this. Up until that point, you always knew that maybe Valdez could pull something off, but I think once that second knockdown happened, all the energy was just gone. Valdez just had nothing left. All his energy was gone. Navarrete's confidence was through the roof. His corner were ecstatic. Heading into the 5th round, to be fair, the 5th round, the tide turned slightly to where Valdez was actually landing some shots. But it's also clear that Navarrete was also just having a bit of a break because he was tired. Because as much as Navarrete boxed well, it is very hard to keep up that level of output. And, as much as Valdez's level of output was high, Navarrete's was also very high. Because, of course, when you have a high output fighter coming at you, your output also has to be high. Otherwise, you'll just get knocked out. So Navarrete's output was also very high, and he was clearly also a bit tired. So Valdez started to have more success, definitely. But I would also say that's mainly just because Navarrete was just having a bit of a tactical break, So yeah, and then of course we head into round 6, the final round of the fight, and Navarrete lands a beautiful an uppercut, a beautiful uppercut straight to the liver, the solar plexus, right to the solar plexus of Valdez. And if any of you have ever been hit in the solar plexus before, it is absolutely brutal. It's excruciating. You can't breathe. You have this stabbing pain. It's horrible. It's terrible. And Valdez was not able to stand up. It's such a bad place to be hit. I think part of his liver was caught. I think it was a bit of like a mix of a shot where both his liver and his solar plexus were caught. And if any of you have ever been hit in either the liver or the solar plex, it's brutal, it's paralyzing, and you just cannot get up. And Valdez, very clearly, you could tell from his face, he was trying so hard to get up, but he just couldn't. His legs betrayed him. And as I said, when you get hit in the liver or the solar plexus, you just can't get up. Your legs completely betray you. They go, you're paralyzed, and he just couldn't get up. But as I said, massive respect to Valdez. He showed loads of heart. He tried his best, but ultimately Navarrete is just a different level, and he deserves all the praise in the world. He was fantastic. A second time in a row. He now retains his WBO super featherweight championship, and yeah, very well deserved. Navarrete just boxed so well. He was so good, so calm, so composed. The combinations were just sublime. The movement was really good. That's something I haven't even mentioned yet. I thought Navarrete's movement was very good to be able to avoid all the inside work and all the pressure from Valdez that he tried to put on. And eventually he just kept chipping away at him, knocked him down, sapped away his confidence, kept landing the 1-2, which was snapping his head back. Anytime he got any sort of close, he would throw the overhand right or left. He'd throw the hooks, and they'd always be landing. And yeah, just a sensational performance by Navarrete. A very entertaining fight, one that I enjoyed watching. Feels good to have a boxing podcast out again. And yeah, I want you guys to please let me know what you thought of this fight down below. Also, where do you guys think Valdez goes from here? Who do you think Valdez can fight next? How can Valdez turn this around, etc.? And of course, where do you guys think Navarrete should go here from next? Who do you guys think Navarrete should fight next? Please let me know down below. I'm very interested to hear who you guys think Navarrete should fight next. I think there's so many good fights out there for him, and I think he truly is in his prime right now, and he's just an excellent fighter, and he deserves all the praise in the world for these two fantastic performances against Valdez. But yeah, that's pretty much a main summary of the fight. So in terms of Valdez, I think, while he had some moments of success success when he was in the pocket, and he had some decent pressure moments. For the most part, it was just a really difficult fight for him. In terms of Navarrete, as I said before, I think the looping punches really made the difference for him. The overhand rights and lefts, and also the left and right hooks. I think they're the punches that really made a difference. Of course, the 1-2 was there, the uppercuts were there, and they were good. The body shot, of course, in round 6. But for me, the main punch that really made the difference for Navarrete was the looping punches, so the hooks and the overhands. Please let me know if you agree with that. But that's pretty much going to do it for my summary of the fight. A really entertaining fight, very gritty, very scrappy, and just very entertaining for the fans. Of course, a fantastic performance by Navarrete for him to retain his WBO super featherweight championship of the world, and of course cement himself as one of the best in the division, if not the best. He's definitely up there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Feels great to have a boxing podcast up again, and trying to think of what my next one will be. There's a couple of good fights coming up. Of course, there's the hugely anticipated Tyson Fury Alexander Usyk fight, which of course I'll be making a video for. But yeah, that's going to do it for this podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Good to have a boxing video out again, and of course there will be more to come. In terms of the next podcast, it's going to be my reaction to the Arsenal-Monaco game. The Arsenal-Monaco game is on Wednesday, so I'll be uploading my reaction to that on Thursday, so I'll see you guys then. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support recently. We're at 46 subscribers, so I'm only 4 subscribers away from my end of year goal. So if you guys want to help me out with that, please subscribe, like, turn on all notifications. Thank you guys so much for the support recently on the shorts, on the videos. It really means more than you could ever imagine. It's been so good having these videos out, and I just want to thank you guys once again for all the support you've been showing me. But yeah, without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, turn on all notifications. Remember to comment down below what you thought of the Navarrete Valdez fight, and also who you think either of them should fight next. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in another podcast soon. Bye bye.